How come you don't cling to that and say, you know what, I'm gonna let that ring in my ear so I can cling to strength? But you'll cling to the weekend, you'll cling to little Uzi Vertical, you'll cling to little Pump, you'll cling to Tekashi 69, you'll cling to all these little fags, bro. All these little fag rappers, little mumble rappers. Okay. But then you'll cling, and then I'm gonna cling to something conscious. I'm cling to some communist Nas. They ain't talking about nothing but confusion. Because 1 minute Nas is talking about being conscious and uplifting children, and the next minute he's talking about banging hoes. And rolling blunts. So, I mean, come on, man. We got to get it real. Like, again, the music, it got a demon on it. It is a demon. The music is a spirit. When used right, it healed Saul. They use it to control us. We cling to that weak-ass music spirit, and what do? We out there trying to sell drugs, kill each other, bang every chick, get all the expensive cars that cost more than your house. You doing dumb things like rolling around in a car with the rims that cost more than the car and are worth more than the car. Sound system worth more than the car. The whole car is worth more than your mortgage or your rent, whatever it is. You know, you following the weakness. You get you'll go and buy every shoe. You'll have Nike Town in your house, but then you ain't got no car to drive around in. It's that type of thought that we cling to. So again, we got to see, man, that we got to be careful. We got to be careful of the things that we cling to. Where we at in the scripture?
Philippians 3, and was that verse 19?
Verse 19.
On the top?
Yep.
Whose end is destruction.
Uh-huh.
Whose God is their belly.
Come on.
And whose glory is in their shame. Who mind earthly things.
And they do what?
Mind earthly things.
Yeah, they're not looking at the spiritual things. They're not like, oh, how do I flip my spiritual talents? They're like, man, how do I flip this burger? How do I flip this piece of fish so it don't break? That's all they talk about. Food. Food, women. How do I flip my damn bank account? They ain't talking about nothing spiritual that's going to edify you, edify the church, edify their own family, edify themselves. It's all about their belly, their gut. So we know how we should walk. Now we got to just follow the righteous path and understand that it's beneficial. Go to 1 Peter 3:13.
1 Peter chapter 3, verse 13.
Uh-huh.
Wherefore, gird up your loins as...
Whoa. 1 Peter 3:13?
Verse 13.
Uh-huh.
And who is he that will harm you?
Uh-huh.
If ye be followers of that which is good.
That's what we got to understand. Who's going to harm you if you're a follower of good? If you're a follower of Christ, who's going to harm you? But if you follow in your gut, now you understand why you fall into damnation. When you follow your lust, now you understand why your household falls. When you follow your own mind, there's a way that seemeth right unto a man, but there are of what?
Yes.
Yeah. When you follow your own way, I would just do it. You follow, because what is he following? He's following his rebelliousness. He's following his stubbornness. He's following his pride. When you follow your pride, man, that's death. It said it. Whose end is destruction, whose God is their belly. When you follow the wrong path, when you follow the wrong example, when you cling to weakness, you get a lot of harm. There's a lot of harm that comes to brothers and sisters. When you follow your emotions, I'm going to follow my emotions, right? I'm going to follow my emotions. When you just get over emotional, that's where that destruction comes in, man. That's where that's where Satan enters into your household. Because you're letting your emotions and how you feel and the way I think and me and you start sounding like a cat, a screeching feline. You start sounding real annoying because of the way you feel, what you think, how you want to do it, what you thought. When you start following that, that's where Satan enters in and puts that separation between you and your husband. That's where the harm comes in. You're really just harming yourself, harming your situation, harming your household. Harming, if you got children, you put harm to your children. They latch onto them damn emotional ass spirits. You get emotional, what the kids start doing? They start crying, yelling, screaming. I gotta see it, man. Or you can cling to the strength of the Bible, the strength of the wisdom, and say, you know what, let me deal as a human being deals. Let me listen, take correction, and then rebuttal. Or let me just listen, take correction, shut the hell up and keep moving. Or let me just listen. It might not be about correction. Let me just listen. Or let me not just always try to follow my own way. It's all these different things, man, that the reason why we're so harmed spiritually, we're spiritually being harmed because of what we follow. You follow that garbage music, it's going to lead you down the path. You follow eating after garbage food, what is it going to do? It's going to destroy you. You follow a garbage thought process, as a man think in his mind, so is he. You follow garbage, you're going to be garbage. You follow bad thoughts, you're gonna project and execute bad thoughts. Go to Proverbs 13:20. Check it out. 13:20, Proverbs 2:20. Men shall be wise. Why? Because I'm pulling their example and using it. I'm learning from their example. I'm learning from their experience. I'm coveting their gifts. Go ahead.
But a companion of fools shall be destroyed.
Yeah, but you want to be the companion of a fool? That's going to be to your destruction. You got the choice. You have the choice. Choose ye this day, life or death. Proverbs chapter 2 and verse 20.
Proverbs chapter 2 and verse 20. That thou mayest walk in the way of good men.
In the way of laziness.
Good men.
The slothful.
Good men.
Double-minded.
Good men.
Go ahead.
And keep the paths of the righteous.
Come on.
For the upright shall dwell in the land. And the perfect shall remain in it.
Read.
But the wicked shall be cut off from the earth.
Y'all see that?
Done.
The perfect and upright are going to possess the land, but the wicked way, the off way, the bad way of doing things, that's going to be cut out, man. And if you want to cling to that, guess what? If you want to be joined to that, guess what? You're going to be guilty by association. Read.
And the transgressors shall be rooted out of it.
Yeah. You want to go against the way things should be done? Because, well, I don't see why it has to be done like that. I don't get why brothers do it like that. And then you throw that out there and another brother's like, you're rock. I don't understand why they do that. It's like, man, what the hell are y'all talking about? Stop. Sisters, what's up?
That goes with the class you did, was it Monday about, it's a class about cowards?
Yeah.
Once that spirit can seep into the ranks of the people, then that spirit can leap and jump on. If you're fearful for a faint-hearted, you voice that, and you got another brother.
Yeah, you cause your brother's heart to melt. But that's the thing where the scriptures talk about spirits jumping like frogs. So you got a weak, double-minded spirit on you, and if you throw some old double-minded question out or some old double-minded thought, guess what? The brother that didn't know no better, he's going to be like, damn, that's a good question. How come? Blah, 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 blah. Right? And in his mind, he's saying, yeah, you know what? Brother got a point. He's smart. But then what happens? We know what happens. What's up?
It made me think about, brothers be coming up with all kind of conspiracy theories.
Yeah, bro. Come on, man. The scriptures talk about that, man. Evil suspicions,
All evil suspicions.
Evil suspicions have overthrown many. Yeah, they come up with all these conspiracies of why and why not, but that's fine. I get it. There's nothing wrong with questioning things. There's nothing wrong with having questions. But man, listen, if you double-minded about the same thing from 3 years ago, I need you to reevaluate. Either you don't know how to read good, or I don't know what's going on, but we gotta reevaluate your processor. If you're still double-minded about things from 4 years ago, if you're still the same man from 5 years ago, there's a problem. Something's going on there where it didn't click in your head that, okay, you were sitting here to change. You were sent here to learn. Again, ain't nothing wrong with having questions. But are your questions stirring up that weak mind in brothers? Is it all some double-minded question that goes back and forth and meant to argue? And then what does it do? If other brothers ain't strong, what does it do? It subverts them. It lifts them out of what they were getting planted into. See, brothers don't get it, man. The way brothers ask the questions and the questions that be asked after so long of a time of learning, and it's like, damn, you still on that? What are you doing to the hearers? What are you doing to the weak brother that's still trying to learn?
But isn't that like a spirit on them that they never allowed to either be checked, or they themselves never examined themselves to see if that, you know what I'm saying? Like, isn't that a spirit that's on them? Especially if they are, like, after 4 years, they're still on that same thing.
You know what that is? Pride, rebelliousness, stiff-neckedness, hard-headedness. I mean, you want me to keep going? Lack of faith. Right? It's all those things. It's all those things that now they're trying to bleed over to the next man with, oh, I'm just asking a question. Huh? No, you're not. You get somebody to cling on to your weaknesses. That's what it is. I'm fishing for the weakest link, so I can let him cling to me. So this weak spirit, this clinging, this coveting the best gifts, it works two ways. You gotta, because listen, I know my weaknesses. I'm not gonna throw them out there to brothers like, man, this is my weakness, so I go ahead and cling to that. I'm gonna put up all the fronts in the world like I'm the strongest brother ever. Listen, I study, and I'm not saying I don't study, but that's what you hear me talking about. Yeah, do I have little side conversations outside the Bible? Of course. But that's not the majority of my convo, because I understand what each brother needs, and then it goes to, who am I with? What brother am I with? Where is he at in his growth and learning? He don't need certain conversation anyway. You know, the trooper don't need the conversation that I can give to the officer. Why? The officer has came up and he's already rooted in certain things. So I can't have the same conversation with the same brothers. It's sad, because even in my conversation, him not understanding the trooper, the young-minded brother, the child, that's going to lift him off his feet, and he's going to be like, see, I knew I shouldn't have followed that, or I knew this, or I knew that, because he don't understand. When I was a child, I spake as a child, I understood as a child, I thought as a child. But now the man that's growing up, I can have certain conversations with brothers, and they're not going to be offended. They're not going to take it the wrong way. It's not going to make them double-minded. They're not going to... It's like me and Kazaki. We have conversations that, you know, we have sometimes, I'll be thinking something, and I'll have like hypotheticals in my mind. And he's like, well, you know, it's not in the Bible, but think about this. And we have these conversations that I can't have online. We couldn't have our conversations like just online, or even around some brothers, because they'd be like, what? Wait a minute, but it don't say that. And their brains will explode. So but then there's certain conversations he don't have with me, because he's like, you gotta get this and this first, and then. So there's levels. There's levels to even the conversation and what a man might cling to in that conversation. You see that? You got brothers, man, they'll cling, like, you sitting there trying to point out all the things to help them, and they'll cling to the point in the conversation when you told them what they did wrong because they didn't like the way you told them. Like, so you told me how to do that, and I didn't like the way you said that. But, bro, all I was doing was just giving you the Bible. It was just all scripture. But yeah, that one told me that I was wicked. You calling me wicked? I didn't say that. I didn't say that at all. I was just showing you where you were off at. Dang, it's 9:30. Come on, let's read on. Dang. Wow.
You want to start from 22 at the top?
No, go to, Jesus. I didn't have this much for this class, but then I do. Go to Psalms 119:63. Psalms 119:63.
Psalm chapter 119, verse 63.
Somebody else get Proverbs 2 and 12. Go ahead.
I am a companion of all them that fear thee.
Read.
And of them that keep thy precepts.
You see that? That's what we want to be, a companion of the ones that fear the Most High and keep the precepts. Go to Proverbs 2 and verse 12.
Proverbs chapter 2 and verse 12.
Somebody else get 2 Thessalonians 3 and 11. Read.
For whom the Lord loveth, he correcteth.
Proverbs 2 and verse 12. Good. And then 2 Thessalonians 3 and verse 11.
Come.
To deliver thee from the way of the evil man. From the man that speaketh froward things.
Read.
Who leave the path of uprightness.
He did what?
Leaves the path of uprightness.
Come on.
To walk in the ways of darkness.
Come on.
Who rejoice to do evil.
They do what?
Rejoice to do evil.
Come on.
And delight in the frowardness of the wicked.
Read.
Whose ways are crooked, and they froward in their paths.
Right. See, we don't want to follow the ones whose ways are crooked and froward in their paths, meaning they're against the right path. 2 Thessalonians 3 and verse 11.
2 Thessalonians chapter 3 and verse 11.
Proverbs 9 and 6. Read.
For we hear that there are some which walk among you disorderly.
Because there are brothers that walk, sisters that walk disorderly, but we mark them. Go ahead.
Working not at all.
Read.
But are busybodies.
Yeah, not working to build their spiritual gifts. You got sisters not working to get their damn houses in order, but they want to be a what?
Busybody.
You want to be a busybody. Instead of building, taking care of your house, you busybody what your man is doing. Up in his phone. Where his whereabouts. You ain't even working. You got brothers the same way, man. You a busybody in everything else. You a busybody on damn Snapchat, social media. You got all the messengers popping, but you ain't listening to the messengers of God. You got Facebook Messenger, Instagram Messenger, Snapchat Messenger. You sliding up in everybody's DMs. But guess what? You ain't letting the messengers of God clear your mind. Read on.
Now them that are such.
Go to Proverbs 9 and 6.
Proverbs chapter 9 and 6.
Read where you at in Thessalonians.
Verse 12.
Verse 12. Go ahead.
Now them that are such we command and exalt by our Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach. That with quietness they work.
That's it on that. Go to Proverbs 9 and verse 6.
Proverbs chapter 9 and verse 6. Forsake the foolish.
Forsake the what?
The foolish.
Yeah, the damn class clown, the court jester, the brother that always wants to play and take nothing serious. It says do what?
Forsake the foolish.
Wait, cling to him.
Forsake the foolish.
Come on.
And live.
Yeah, this is where you'll live. Read.
And go in the way of understanding.
Go to 3 John chapter 1 verse 11. Ecclesiasticus 51 and 18.
John 11?
3 John.
3 John 11.
3 John 1 verse 11.
3 John 11.
Go ahead.
Behold, follow not that which is evil.
Do what?
Follow not that which is evil.
Yeah, we're not supposed to be following the bad examples. We're not supposed to be trying to follow after our brother's evil gifts. Some brothers got wicked gifts. They don't got spiritual gifts. They got carnal gifts. We're not supposed to follow the carnal gifts of a man. We're supposed to covet earnestly the best gifts. Go ahead.
But that which is good.
Come on.
He that doeth good is of the Most High.
Right, because the good comes from the Most High. It says everything that's good, everything that's pure. It says all good gifts come from the Most High. Go ahead.
But he that doeth evil hath not seen the Most High.
Yeah, these men that are brothers that's been around, man. And it's almost like, damn, you don't see this. It's like the Most High hasn't snapped his fingers in their ear to wake them up, to spark them. They haven't seen the Most High, man. It's like, damn, you still don't get it. The things you talk about, the things you put your mind into. The whole point of a man getting the knowledge is what? Build himself. For what?
Build others.
To build others. Build yourself to build others. That's the whole point of the knowledge. That's true brotherhood. That's true charity. That's true nationhood. But if you haven't built and what self is it? The carnal self? Like, oh, I'm about to go build myself. I'm about to hit the gym for 3 hours a day. I'm gonna make sure I eat right. I'm gonna exercise. And then I gotta get my rest. So I gotta watch all the TV in the world. Nah, man, it's about building that spiritual self. Ecclesiastes 51:18.
Ecclesiastes chapter 51 and verse 18.
Read.
For I propose to do after her.
Right?
And earnestly I follow that which is good.
Right. You see that? I propose to do after her and earnestly follow. When it says earnestly, what is it? Seriously, right? I seriously followed that which was good. Come on.
So shall I not be confounded.
Right, because the confounding comes when you follow evil. It says, what evil shall come to them that do good? None. No harm. And like we just said, your good talents were supposed to lead others into their talents and build others. Go to 1 Peter 2 and verse 9. Your good was supposed to lead others to good. You were supposed to build on your talents, not build on your weaknesses. Not cling to somebody else's weakness. This was the purpose. 1 Peter 2 and verse 9.
1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 9.
Come on.
But ye are a chosen generation.
You are a what?
Chosen generation.
What were we chosen for? Go ahead.
A royal priesthood.
A what?
Royal priesthood.
Okay, so if I'm a royal priesthood, if I'm chosen for this, do I got time to play games? Do I got time to be in my flesh?
La.
Read.
And holy nation.
Come on.
A peculiar people.
Right. That means you were chosen to be different from what you already were. Read.
That he should show forth the praises of him.
You were supposed to do what?
Show forth the praises of him.
Yeah, you were called so that you could show something. You were called so that you could bring forth your gifts towards the Most High's name. Read.
Who hath called you out of darkness.
You see that? You were called out of darkness. So what were we meant to do? We were supposed to be the light to bring others out of darkness. Read on.
Into his marvelous light.
Read verse 10.
Which in times past were not a people.
Yeah, you weren't a person. You were a brute beast animal before the light. You were a damn animal, man. But you weren't supposed to stay that way. How foolish and ignorant I was before thee. Right? Wasn't that David saying without the wisdom he was foolish, he was ignorant, he was but a beast? It's the same thing with us, man. You did things like in beast mode. But you weren't supposed to come into the light and stay beast mode. You were supposed to change into an actual man. With wisdom, knowledge, understanding. But some brothers, you know what they did? Some sisters, they stayed beast mode. And then you like, oh, I like beast mode. I'm going to cling to that. It don't work like that. Read on.
But are now the people of the Most High.
Why? Because the light. You step into the light. You put off the old man, put on the new. You let the gifts, you let the gifts allow you to become godly. Read.
Which have not obtained mercy.
Read.
But now have obtained mercy.
Yeah, because why would you need mercy if you were all good? You need mercy because the things you did back out in the world, they were garbage. They were filthy, disgusting. The Most High had to give you mercy, else it was death. But now that you come in, you're not supposed to be doing the same things that require mercy. You're not supposed to be the same man that required mercy day after day after day after day. You were supposed to put off that old man and put on that new man. From there, go to Matthew 5:16. So as you stepped into that light,
Matthew.
This is what you were supposed to do with your light. Matthew 5:16.
Matthew chapter 5 verse 16.
Uh-huh.
Let your light so shine before men.
Let your light do what?
So shine before men.
Wait, cover up your light.
So shine before men.
Ain't light a good thing? When it's dark, don't you, you're like, man, I need that light. Where that light at? The first thing you do when you walk in your house, you flip that light switch. Because that's a good gift. And when it don't come on, you're like, wait a minute. Damn, gonna cut me off. But that light is a good gift. You cling to the light. Right? So you're supposed to let your light shine before men. Go ahead.
That they may see your good works.
Wait Wait. The light is there so they can look at all your negatives?
That they may see your good works.
Go ahead.
And glorify your Father which is in heaven.
Ephesians 5 and verse 8. This is what it was about, man. Your light, your talents were supposed to shine. So men can see them. So they can see the good in you.
Ephesians chapter
Not
5.
cling to the bad. Read that. Ephesians 5 and 8.
Ephesians chapter 5, verse 8.
Damn, was the sound out all that long?
No.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Said it, yeah, I fixed it.
For ye were sometimes darkness, but now are ye light in the Lord.
Yeah, because you were darkness. You were the weakness. But coming in, you are light. Be the light. Be the light. Don't be like dim. Like, well, I'm fading. You're like the light that flickers. No, be the light. Be the strength. Don't be somebody else's weakness. Go ahead.
Walk as children of light.
Do what?
Walk as children of light.
Go ahead.
For the fruit of the Spirit is in all goodness and righteousness and truth.
Read on.
Proving what is acceptable.
Doing what?
Proving what is acceptable.
This is what we were supposed to be doing. We're supposed to prove what is acceptable in the eyes of the Most High. Not what he don't want. What he don't want gets us killed, man. But what's approved in the sight of the Most High is what brings us life. Read on.
Proving what is acceptable unto the Lord. And have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness.
You see that? We weren't supposed to cling to the unfruitful works of darkness. Read on.
But rather reprove them.
But do what?
Reprove them.
Yeah, they were supposed to be reproved. Not cling to and then act like, oh, yeah, well, yeah, it's all good. I'm just chilling. It's just a little video game here and there. It's just this, it's just that. Not when it's excessive. It ain't just food when you're just a glutton. It ain't just alcohol when you're a drunkard. It ain't just video games when you're a damn video game junkie. It's not just something that simple when it overtakes the righteousness that's supposed to be in you.
God.
Go to John 3:17.
God, John chapter 3, verse 17. John chapter 3, verse 17. For God sent not his Son into the world to condemn the world.
Read on.
But that the world through him might be saved.
Read.
He that believeth on him is not condemned. But he that believeth not is condemned already.
Right. We got to remember, man, the Most High didn't send Christ in the world to condemn us. He sent Yahushua as a light for us to do what? To follow, to cling to. He sent a man with good attributes and good gifts for us to say, damn, I want to be just like Christ. I want to be just like him. How come he didn't send Judas as the example? How come he didn't send, Jonah as the example? The one that was running from his damn duties. How come he didn't make Ananias the example? Was it Ananias that hit? No, it was, who was it that hid back part of the money when they sold the land? It was Ananias. His wife, right. How come he didn't make them the example? He made Christ the light for us to say, wow, okay, that's what I'm going to cling to. And then I'm going to become a light, and then men will cling to me. But some of us, man, you halfway clinging to the light, and then your light is like flickering in and out. Because 1 minute you're there, the next minute you can't be the beacon to anybody. You couldn't guide a ship in if your life depended on it. You couldn't be that lighthouse. Think about a lighthouse in a storm. You watch their movies, and what are they looking for? They're looking for the shore, right? When it's stormy, they don't know which way they're going. Their nautical calculations are off, and they're like, and then they look out in the mid, and they're like, oh my God, the lighthouse. And they know, like, damn, we're saved. We're good. That's what we were representing. That's what our good gifts represent. That saving of people. Read on.
God, believe he had not believed in the name,
but
because he had not believed in the name of the only begotten Son of God.
Go ahead.
Verse 19. And this is the condemnation.
Read.
That light is come into the world.
Right. See, the light is there. Yahushua was the light, and all that followed him. Paul was the light. Titus, Timothy, all these men, they were lights. It was not just Christ. Listen, it says we are the light. Did it not?
Done.
Right, the light has entered. We know that's speaking of Christ. But the whole point is that he was the light and that we were supposed to be little lights. We were supposed to follow his light. Go ahead.
And men love darkness.
Men love what?
Darkness.
This is the problem with brothers, man, sisters. They love darkness. So what do? They cling to darkness. They cling to imperfection. They cling to weakness. They cling to those schisms in the body, that cancer. It's like, how the hell are you going to run to the sickness? It don't make sense. You came in sick, but then you run to more sickness. Now you're just sitting here sicker than when you got here. Come on, man. It don't make sense. Run to the light. Run to the healing. Read on.
And men love darkness rather than light, because their deeds were evil.
Read on.
For everyone that doeth evil hateth the light, neither cometh to the light, lest his deeds should be reproved.
Right, because you want to cling to that weakness. You don't want to be changed. You don't want to be pointed out. Read on.
But he that doeth truth.
But he that does what?
Doeth truth.
He that does things the right way. Come on.
Cometh to the light.
Come on.
That his deeds may be made manifest, that they are wrought in God.
Philippians 2 and 15. Philippians 2 verse 15. We got 15 minutes, so I just want to... Man, we're going to end right on time.
Philippians chapter 2 verse 15.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Philippians chapter 2 verse 15.
Go ahead.
That ye may be blameless and harmless.
Come on.
The sons of Yahweh.
Read.
Without rebuke.
Read.
In the midst of a crooked and perverse nation.
That's what we got to understand, that we're in the midst of a crooked and perverse nation, generation. But what were we supposed to be, even to the nations? Read on.
Among whom ye shine as lights in the world.
That was the point. Read on.
Holding forth the word of life.
The word of death.
The word of life.
Holding forth condemnation.
The word of life.
Come on.
That I may rejoice in the day of Christ.
Read.
That I have not run in vain.
Because that's what it becomes when you cling to that weak brother, sister. You cling to those weak spirits. You end up running in vain. Because you know what's going to happen after a time? You're just going to get rooted out. You're just going to get rooted out, man. You're going to go through all the battles for nothing. You're going to get your ribs stripped, your kids stripped, your house stripped from you, cars, everything. You're going to lose everything. It's sad that you got to lose the world, but then you got to come into the truth and lose too. It shouldn't be. It's not. First of all, it don't got to be like that. It does not have to be like that. We know we got to give up the world. We got to forsake the world. We know that. But you shouldn't have to come into the truth and lose family in the truth because you didn't want to listen. Because you wanted to do the weak thing. You want to be the prideful guy. You want to be the loud guy. You want to be the playful guy. You didn't want to be serious. You didn't want to take nothing serious. So now the Most High got to make you lose by checking you in the truth. Come on, man. Come on. You're supposed to be the light to your family, to bring your family through the trials and tribulations. But guess what? You lose them because why? You didn't see that it was necessary to guard your mind for the trials. You didn't say, you know what, let me study. Because these trials and tribulations, you didn't earnestly think about Ecclesiastes, the 2nd chapter. You didn't take it serious. You thought it was a damn game. So guess what? Now you got to live Ecclesiastes, the 2nd chapter. But where's your ammo? Well, you don't got it because the brother you clung to, he's barely getting through Ecclesiastes, the 2nd chapter, in his 15th year, in his 10th year, in his 5th year. He's barely getting through Ecclesiastes 2. Won't you go to the brother that is going through Ecclesiastes 2 day by day, monthly, and not being consumed by it? He's not being consumed by it. Go to the brothers, go to the examples that are past where Ecclesiastes 2, they know that it's there, but it's not even a thing. Temptation. What? I'm just living now. I'm just living the word, brother. Won't you go to that man? When you going through the brother that's barely on ABC, where you got the example of how to get to LMNOP, the brother's still on ABC, and you like, I'm going to cling to him. I'm going to be with him. I'm going to be with her. But that's why you go through these things. That's why you run in vain. Because the bad example is there. Go to 1 Timothy 6 and verse 1 now. The bad example is there. Choose you this day, life or death. Become a man. Don't choose this example. Read.
1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 1. Let as many servants as are under the yoke count their own masters worthy of all honor.
Right. Like Elisha counted Elijah worthy of all honor. He counted him with double honors and said, you know what, give me double of your spirit. See, the honor comes in following your masters, following your teachers, the good teachers, the ones that are doing the right thing. That's the best honor. When a brother comes to you and says, listen, here's my experience on how to do something. Do it this way because this way works. And then when a brother follows that and says, you know what, I'm going to just follow because he went through it and it works. That's honor. That's the best honor any teacher could ever have. where someone just follows the right way of doing things, where you teach them the good and the bad, and you say, listen, don't do that. It's like a father with his son. You sit your son down, you say, listen, son, this is life. And you start breaking down the do's and the don'ts. The best honor is when he grows up and he becomes an honorable man. He becomes a law-abiding citizen, right? But where's a man dishonored in his son? When you told your son, don't do drugs. When you told your son, don't do this, don't do that, he does the damn complete opposite. You're like, man, this little hard-headed Negro. You dishonored that way. You're like, what the? I didn't teach you that. What the hell? When you teach your daughter, you know, when you teach your daughter about you school your daughter to the game, right? I got to school my daughters about these dudes because they wrong and they going to do it wrong. And you teach her. And then what does she do? Come crying to you about these whack-ass dudes. You're like, but I taught you that these dudes was garbage and how to pick one. When I was telling you, no, don't date him. Don't be with him because this. You were like, nope, I'm going to date who I want. And then when you come back crying because your heart got broke because he cheated on you and gave you 4 STDs, it's like, well, told you what not to do and what to do. See, the honor, read it again.
God, verse 1. Let as many servants as are under the yoke count their own masters worthy of all honor.
Yeah, honor comes, man, with your master when you're willing to follow your master and follow his good example. Go ahead.
That the name of Yahweh and his doctrine be not blasphemed.
Because where is that master's following coming from? Teaching coming from? It's coming from the doctrine. It's like Moses. We're going to get into it. It's like Moses. Who was leading Moses? The Most High. No. But when Corey and Dathan, right, when they decided to make up some allegations on Moses, what happened? The people stopped counting Moses worthy of any honor. So what did they start to do? They started to become blasphemous, murmurers, right? So I'm going to show you how this is going to lead into that story. Go ahead, read on, verse 2.
Verse 2. And they that have believing masters.
Moses was a believing master over the people. Go ahead.
Let them not despise them.
Yeah, you're not supposed to despise your believing master. Read.
Because they are brethren.
Come on.
But rather do them service.
Rather do what?
Do them service.
Not like mouth service and lip service and nigga you ain't crap service. Read.
Because they are faithful.
Because they are what?
Faithful.
So you're supposed to be grabbing on to what?
Faithful.
That faithful gift. Go ahead.
And beloved.
Read.
Partakers of the benefit.
Come on.
These things teach.
These things do what?
Teach.
Read.
And exhort.
Read verse 3.
Excuse me. If any man teach otherwise and consent not to wholesome words,
read.
Even the words of our Lord Yahushua.
If any man teach otherwise. See the bad example. If he's teaching you something other than the good example you've seen, if a man is teaching you to walk contrary to the good, Read on.
And to the doctrine which is according to godliness.
If he's teaching you to walk not according to godliness, read.
He is proud.
He is what?
Proud.
Yeah, he's a prideful son of a gun. Read on.
Knowing nothing.
And he doesn't know anything. Read.
But doting about questions.
But they do what?
Doting about questions.
They do what?
Doting about questions.
They throw out them damn unfaithful questions, double-minded questions. Those questions that are meant to do what? Read.
And strifes of words.
See that? They throw things out there for striving of words. Read.
Whereof cometh envy.
Come on.
Strife.
Read.
Railings.
Read.
Evil surmisings.
Somebody look up that word surmisings. Read on, verse 5.
Perverse disputings of men of corrupt minds.
Yeah, you ain't supposed to cling to the man with the corrupt mind. Like Corey and Dathan, they were corrupted in their thinking. They did evil surmisings. They came up with strife. Corey was envious of Moses. We're going to go into it. Read.
And destitute of the truth.
They what?
Destitute of the truth.
Yeah, your bad example ain't got the truth in him. Read.
Supposing that gain is godliness.
Right, because what are they about? Their God is their belly. So they think it's about the more I gain, the more I accumulate. I got 10,000 knives. I'm good. I got food full of fridge. My belly is full. I'm good. I got all the women. I'm good. I got all the Snapchat hoes. I'm good. Read.
From such withdraw thyself.
Wait. Cling to that man.
From such withdraw thyself.
Follow him as an example.
From such withdraw thyself.
Read verse 6. Read verse 6.
But godliness with contentment is great gain.
That's what it's about. That godliness, the contentment comes when you see a man or you know that you want a gift and you don't have it. And the godliness is to what? Covet the best gift. The godliness in a man is supposed to say, you know what? How do I get that? I know I can get it. I know I'm not there yet, but how do I get it? Patience, contentment. Go to Numbers 16 and verse 1. Numbers 16 and 1, go to the Josephus, page 102. Numbers chapter 16 and 1.
God, Numbers chapter 16.
Now we're going to read about Korah and Dathan. I said Corey. It's Korah and Dathan. I'm saying Corey because that's how it's written in the New Testament. But it's Korah and Dathan. Now if you understand about Korah and Dathan, Korah was a Levite, right? Levite man. He had some money. He was a little bit older than Moses. And basically he accused Moses of unjustly giving the priesthood to Aaron.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, he was like, oh, you basically giving this guy the priesthood. Why? Because he's your brother. I deserve the priesthood because first of all, I'm richer, I'm older, and I got more clout. And I can talk better than you, Moses. And in that, what he did was he created this sedition amongst the people. And he had 260 idiots that followed him. About 200, it's going to tell us how many men exactly. But read Numbers 16 and verse 1.
God, Numbers chapter 16, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
Now Korah, the son of Izar, the son of Kohath, the son of Levi,
Read.
and Dathan, and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, and On, the son of Pelet, sons of Reuben, took men.
Read.
And they rose up before Moses with certain of the children of Israel.
Read.
250 princes of the assembly.
Right. 250 princes. 250 renowned men decided to follow two idiots. Read.
Famous in the congregation.
They were what?
Famous in the congregation.
Come on.
Men of renown.
Read on.
And they gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron.
Read.
And said unto them, ye take too much upon you. Seeing all the congregation are holy, every one of them, and the Lord is among them.
Right. So he's saying, look, y'all making yourselves too much. The congregation is holy. The Lord is with them. Read on.
Wherefore then lift ye up yourselves above the congregation of the Lord.
Yeah, it's like you want to lift yourself up above the congregation. y'all are the priests? That's what he's saying. Wait a minute. If y'all are the priests and the congregation is holy and the Most High is with them, and you're supposed to be the priest, you lifting yourself up? But didn't the Most High lift Moses?
Exactly.
Right? Didn't Most High look at Moses' gifts and say his gifts are to be followed? If it was about Korah, I keep saying that wrong. If it was about Korah and Dathan, wouldn't the Most High say, well, okay, Korah, you got it. But see, Korah was looking at what? His money, his age, his stature. He was looking at his carnal gifts. He wasn't looking at Moses' meekness, his temperance, his faithfulness, his love, his charity, his peace. He wasn't looking at Moses' godly gifts, spiritual gifts. He was like, nigga, you just prideful. You lifting yourself up. Let's jump into the Josephus. Go to Antiquities of the Jews, page 102, it's chapter 2. It's actually book 4, chapter 2, section 2. Read it right.
God.
Make sure you read it right.
God.
Go ahead.
Korah, a Hebrew of principal account, both by his family and by his wealth.
Come on.
One that was also able to speak well, and one that could easily persuade the people by his speeches.
Read.
Saw that Moses was in exceeding great dignity.
He was jealous of Moses' dignity among the people. He was jealous the fact that the people reverenced and gave honor to Moses by what? Following Moses. Read on.
And was uneasy at it.
Read.
And envied him.
He did what?
Envied him.
Come on.
On that account.
Read.
He was of the same tribe of Moses, and of kindred, and of kin to him.
So he envied Moses because he's like, wait a minute, what's so great about you? I'm a Levite and we're kin. Go ahead.
Was particularly grieved because he thought he better deserved that honorable post on account of his great riches.
Wait, on account of his faithfulness.
Great riches.
On account of his humility.
Great riches.
His meekness.
Great riches.
Wait. So there was nothing spiritual about why he wanted to have the post?
His great riches.
Read.
And not inferior to him in his birth.
Read.
So he raised a clamor against him among the Levites.
Read.
Who were in the same tribe.
Read.
And especially among his kindred, saying that it was a very sad thing that they should overlook Moses while
he hunted after
and paved the way to glory for himself.
You see that? He was saying, look at Moses, man. He's paving the way to glory for himself. He parted the Red Sea. He ain't giving the Most High the credit. He's taking the credit. But Moses never did that.
It was book 3.
Book 4, chapter 2, section 2. He's like, look at Moses, man. He's taking the credit. Moses never took the credit for a damn thing. Moses messed up when he hit the rock and didn't talk to it. Right? But you got Korah like trying to point out because of the great things that Moses was doing that he's somehow raising himself up above the people. And not looking at the fact that Moses possessed some spiritual gifts. So what was Korah doing? He wasn't looking at the Most High setting Moses up and why. And then what did he do? He followed after his own mind. He didn't follow after righteousness. He didn't follow the path that got him out of the wilderness. He followed himself. There's a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the ways there are of death. Go ahead. What were you going to say, Abadiah?
Well, I was thinking, as you were saying that, if Korah did have the same mind as Moses, Yahweh could have used Korah.
He could have used both of them.
Or both of them.
Right. He could have been like, listen, man, Korah, slide right in. You a Levite, priesthood, let's do it. Right. But Korah is like, well, I got dough. Bruh, money wasn't going to get us out of Egypt. Money was not going to get us out of Egypt. A faithful man. A man that wasn't going to be double-minded. A man that cared. A man that was charitable. A meek man. It said Moses was the meekest man of the earth. That a patient man. For Moses to have to go back and forth with Pharaoh, what y'all think? That happened in one day? Like all 10 plagues just happened in one night? Nah, Moses had to come back. A man of humility. A man that Moses had to be a follower, right? He had to be able to take orders. The Most High said, go to Pharaoh. Moses had to go to Pharaoh. He couldn't be like, man, Yahweh, he didn't listen the first time. I got to keep going back and forth. He was like, Khan, go to Pharaoh. Go to Pharaoh. How many times did he tell him to go to Pharaoh? At least 10 times that we know, that we read about, right? And Moses had to do it every time. What if Moses was like, man, it ain't working? What if Moses was faithless as hell? That's why Korah wasn't used, because Moses he possessed different gifts. Read on.
And by ill arts should obtain it.
Read. Right, he said he attained glory by ill arts. See, he parted the Red Sea. He's trying to make y'all follow him. See, he made manna come. He's trying to make y'all follow him. He was trying to point out all the things that the Most High did and say Moses was using that as a way to prop himself up. Read on.
Under the pretense of the Most High's command.
Right, he's like, see, he's basically trying to say that the Most High is doing this, but he's the one that's doing it. Under the pretense, like, oh yeah, Yahweh. He's saying that Yahweh's commanding him, but that ain't Yahweh. Yahweh ain't with him. Y'all get it, right? Go ahead.
So basically, Korah was faithless. He
was garbo.
Okay, he didn't believe the Most High.
He believed in the Most High, but he didn't believe that Moses was operating under the Most High's umbrella. He was just saying that Moses is doing things and then blaming the Most High. Under the pretense, like, yeah, see, the Most High sent me? The Most High didn't send you. That's why he said in the scripture, the Most High is with the congregation and with the people, but he ain't with Moses. Korah was like that, like, Most High ain't with Moses. Read on.
Well, contrary to the laws, he had given the priesthood to Aaron.
And he's saying, look, he's doing all these things, and against the law, he gave the priesthood to Aaron. Now, who gave the priesthood to Aaron? Was it not the Most High?
God.
Did not the Most High tell Moses, use Aaron and his sons, the Levites?
God.
Right? Go ahead.
Not by the common suffrage of the multitude.
Read.
But by his own vote.
Read.
As bestowing dignity in a tyrannical way.
Right.
On whom he pleased.
Right. He basically said Moses was like a dictator. He was a tyrant. He was just picking and choosing what he wanted. Go ahead.
He added that this concealed way of imposing on them was harder to be borne than if it had been done by an open force upon them.
Yeah, he's saying this is harder to deal with. This is harder to swallow because you concealed it. Than if you just been like, nigga, this is me running the show. But that wasn't the case. Go ahead.
Because he did not only take away their power without their consent, but even while they were unappraised of his contrivances against them. For whosoever is conscious to himself that he deserved any dignity, aims to get it by persuasion, and not by an arrogant method of violence.
Read.
But those that believe it impossible to obtain those honors justly make a show of goodness, and do not introduce force.
Right. So basically, he's saying, listen, Moses was sly, slick, and cunning, and crafty. He used craft and cunning to get people on his side. Watch. Read on.
But by cunning tricks, grow wickedly powerful.
Read.
That it was proper for the multitude to punish such men.
So you see that? He was like, listen, Moses needs to be punished. Go ahead.
Even while they think themselves concealed in their design. And not suffer them to gain strength till they have them in their open enemies.
For their open enemies. Go ahead.
For what account, added he, is Moses able to give why he has bestowed the priesthood on Aaron and his sons?
Right. He said, what reason does Moses have that he gave the priesthood to Aaron and his sons? Well, Moses didn't have a reason. The Most High set it up like that. Go ahead.
For if the Most High had determined to bestow that honor on one of the tribes, the tribe of Levi,
Read.
I am more worthy of it than he is.
Why? Read on.
I myself being equal to Moses by my family and superior to him both in riches and in age.
You see that? He didn't say I'm superior to him because I got spiritual gifts of discernment, judgment, love, charity, peace, long suffering. He said I got money. He thought that godliness was gain. But the scriptures say to such, withdraw yourself. He thought his God was his belly. He was lusting for that power. And the sad part is men clung to that. 250 princes of Israel clung to that. Watch, read on.
But if the Most High had determined to bestow it on the eldest tribe, that of Reuben might have it mostly justly.
Most justly.
Most justly. And then Dathan and Abiram and on the sons of Peleth
would have it, for these are the oldest men of the tribe, and potent on account of their great wealth also. See, David thought it was all about carnal powers, carnal gain. Not getting that the reason why Moses was set up and why he was to be followed was because of the spiritual that he had, and the meekness, the temperance, the love. Think about it. When Moses slew that Egyptian, did he do it because he just wanted to kill somebody? It said he slew the Egyptian because he was dealing roughly with the Hebrew, because he killed the Hebrew. So Moses was like, listen, I'm here for my people. He didn't do it because he just had the power to kill, because if it was just about killing somebody, why when the Hebrew said, oh, you gonna kill me too? Why did Moses fled? If it was just about, oh, I got the power to kill. Moses didn't have the power to kill like that. But he did it on account of the love for his brethren. The suffering that Moses did. When it said he gave up the riches of Pharaoh to suffer with his brethren. Think about that. Where is Moses' head right there? Love, peace, charity, equality. Dathan didn't possess this. So now, what happened to Dathan and Korah? Let's jump down to, so we know, I mean, if you read the story, Moses set it up. He said, listen, y'all that are with me stand on this side. Y'all that are with them stand on this side. So Dathan, Korah, and the 250 stood on one side. Moses and the congregation stood on the other. And what happened? Go to
verse 28.
Go to verse 28. Number 16:28.
Numbers chapter 16, verse 28.
Uh-huh.
And Moses said, hereby ye shall know that the Lord has sent me to do all these works.
Right.
For I have not done them of mine own hand.
You see that? Go ahead.
If these men die in the common death.
No, he said, I have not done these of my what?
Of my own mind.
Of my own mind. Go ahead.
If these men die the common death of all men, or if they be visited after the visitation of all men, then the Lord hath not sent me.
Go ahead.
But if the Lord make a new thing, and the earth open her mouth, and swallow them up,
read,
with all that appertain unto them, and they go down quick into the pit, then ye shall understand that these men have provoked the Lord.
Go ahead.
And it came to pass, as he had made an end of speaking all these words, that the ground clave asunder that was under them, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed them up.
Read.
And their houses.
And their what?
And their houses.
Come on.
And all the men that appertain unto Korah and all their goods.
Read.
They and all that appertain to them went down alive into the pit.
Yeah, you got swallowed alive, man. Come on.
And the earth closed upon them.
So how stupid do you feel following Korah at this time? How stupid do you feel following that weak-minded, carnal spirit? That old, I got money, I'm rich, you're not. I'm older, you're not. I'm better than you. How stupid do you feel? But how good do you feel following Moses and his righteousness?
Oh, yeah.
But think about it. How stupid you gonna feel when the earth swallows you up because you want to follow the weak ass brother or the weak sister? But how good do you feel when you follow the strength and go through the trials, the tribulations, deal with it, and then you get the experience on how to deal, and you get the experience to give to the next man? How good do you feel when you're a teacher and the ones that follow the right path, the right direction succeed? How bad do you feel when you're a teacher and you try to give your experience to brothers, sisters, and they're like, nah, I'm gonna do me. And they get destroyed, they get swallowed up anyway. Me, I don't feel bad. I'm just like, I told you so. That feeling bad for people after you tell them, listen, the Bible says after the third and fourth admonishing, we be telling brothers 50 and 60 times the same thing over and over and be feeling like, and it's like, man, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. Like a broken record. And it's like, Most High swallow up their whole life in one fell swoop. They're gone. And it's like, damn.
Just like that.
Just like that. One swoop, dude. One crack of the whip. And they're gone. Read on. Finish up.
God, verse 34.
Uh-huh.
And all Israel that were round about them fled at the cry of them. For they said,
You see that? Go ahead.
lest the earth swallow us up also.
But what evil shall come to him that do good? Read on.
And there came out a fire from the Lord and consumed the 250 men that offered incense.
You see that? 250 men decided that I'm going to follow some weak thought, some weak notion. I'm going to follow some evil ass suspicion. I'm going to follow some weak sedition. 250 men followed weakness to their death. The rest of the congregation lived. And some of them got killed too later because they were off. And they were just following their own weakness. But 250 men, man, perfect example. Korah, Dathan, Moses, and 250 princes of renown that should have stood for something. The scriptures say to rebuke the evil, right? They was like, nah, we need that. We need that evil in us. And they died. So, you know, we got to see it, man. If the Bible gives us all the examples on, again, choose you this day, life or death. You got to understand what you're trying to choose and what you're trying to be. What do you want to be in this truth? What do you want to be with the knowledge? Do you want to be the one mishandling the wisdom incorrectly? Or you want to be the one that wields his sword? When it's time to heal, he going to heal. When it's time to kill, he going to kill. Cut, he going to cut. Cut deeply, he going to cut deep. Small cut, small cut. What do you want? What do you want to be? Well, you have two examples. The one to follow and the one not to follow. Choose ye this day, life and death. With that, any questions?
Loud.
Any questions online? Again, we apologize for the technical difficulties. We appreciate everybody that stuck it through with us. We appreciate the love, the comments, the positivity. Keep learning, keep growing. Keep building your spirit. Keep on that right path. Okay? Keep fighting, man. Fight the good fight. Don't fight it in vain. Some brothers and sisters is fighting in vain, man. It's like you might as well not even learn the truth. You might as well just stay in darkness. Because the little truth that you are learning you're not using, you're going to end up back in the dark anyway. But with that, we're going to end it. Appreciate y'all sticking through. If there's no questions, let's salute them online and say shalom.
Shalom.
We'll be back on Friday. Got a good one on Friday. Good one on Friday. So you sisters definitely want to be in class Friday if possible.
Jesus is real, but you devils taught lies on Christ. So many lies that when we come with the truth, people think that the lies lies is the truth, and that the truth is the lie. Who changed the truth for God into a lie? In English